How much fraud is too much? It appears now that we've been living with a tolerable level of fraud for several years, if not decades. Conservatives have been too busy minding their own business and living normal lives that a few percentage points here and there weren't worth fighting over. Joe Biden was such a bad presidential candidate that Democrats had to add millions of fake ballots, manipulate voting machines, discard Republican ballots, refuse to allow Republicans to vote, remove poll workers, and the list goes on. And Biden still lost. The state of Georgia is thankfully moving forward with their hand recount, and other states are following suit. We've been focused on the presidential race, but we're learning that there is so much widespread corruption. The election could have been stolen for House and Senate races too. Kim Klacik skyrocketed this year to become a favorite to flip a blue seat red in the House. Yet, after the election results posted, she lost by a large margin. That's especially weird because she won on election day and in-person voting, yet lost when they found 97,000 additional ballots. That doesn't add up. Or the Senate race in Michigan that showed John James lost. That's also suspect. Democrats' crazy COVID claims and hype about not leaving your house because you might die if you try to vote in person has been revealed for what it is. A hoax. It was all a scam. They actually thought they could convince you that everyone voted by mail this year, which would account for the record turnout of ballots cast. But it doesn't actually account for the record turnout. There is no factual basis to have a record turnout this year, except for Donald Trump. Trump supporters love him and are crazy enough to go to rallies in the cold, rain, and wind. They wait in line for hours to see him, simply to show their support and love for country. I believe Trump had record numbers. If you want me to believe Biden had record turnout because his voters hate Trump, I don't believe you. If people showed up simply to show that they hate Trump, all the riots, BLM, and Antifa gatherings would be as large as Trump rallies. They aren't. Unless you want to break into local stores and riot and loot, well, then you might get a good crowd. But just the protests and destruction, they're a fraction of the size of a Trump rally. Just this month, the New Yorker estimated an Antifa protest in Portland was 1,500 people, which means it was probably 1,000 people if you subtract their inflation. True, that's larger than anything Biden ever did, but it's tiny compared to Trump. Not a chance on your life did Biden set record numbers this year. Democrats cheated, likely in multiple races. So what do we do while we wait, knowing that Democrats planned a coup on the President of the United States? Wait for it. The day of reckoning is coming, and it will be glorious. There's nothing better to demolish the corruption of Washington like a second-term Trump presidency. Democrats are terrified. If you thought he was bold, obnoxious, or confrontational his first term, just wait until he doesn't have to run for re-election again. Trump is on a mission to clean up the corruption in Washington. The best way to get started is to expose it. This fake election Democrats tried to rig is the first step to showing real Americans who want to know the truth the ugly facts that have been decaying our country for decades. Trump's getting his second term, and he's ripping out the corruption in our election system in the process. As terrible of an experience as this has been for our nation, it's cleansing. Hang in there. Donald Trump is our president and will remain our president. If you have questions you'd like me to ask the panel, send your comments and questions to weeklybriefing@oan.com. Remember to watch Weekly Briefing every Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for watching.